trade shows and fishing shows and whatever. So this one, you'll see there was a very unique aspect to this product.
Top touring pro Davis Love III's secret to the perfect swing?
There's no secret. It's simply knowing the proper swing technique. And now you can learn to swing like a pro with the Medicus Hinge Club.
The secret of the Medicus is this scientifically engineered hinge that will break whenever a flaw occurs in your swing.
So you have to force yourself to groove the swing properly. This product was the first ever golf infomercial, went on to do hundreds of millions, still on the air 23 years later. The Medicus Golf Club, check it out, it's huge. What a perfect pitch that had. Here's one in the fishing categories. Watch this.
Even feels just like live bait, fishing itself with pre-programmed action. It moves through the water just like a glider flies through the air, while it gently falls right into the fish's face. The flying lure goes where no other lure has gone before.
I've caught crappie, I've caught walleye, stripers.
You catch walleye and stripers with that, you know? So think about this. This guy grabs me, I'm at a fishing show, and he says, Kevin, you do all those products on TV. He said, listen to this pitch. He says, lures, they hit the water and they drop straight down because of gravity. I reverse engineered mine so that when it hits the water, it swims away like a wounded fish. And I've got this fish tank over here, this huge one that went about that side of the wall to that side of the wall, about 8 feet high. And he's casting it out. It's full of fish, casts out. He says, now here's regular lures. And this is now magical kind of transformation watching this demo because the lures are dropping straight down. And I'm, you know, because it's like just what he said, gravity, boom. Then he casts the flying lure into this big fish tank. And as it's going like that, 2 fish hit it at once. And that's all I needed. We shot this show. We did 65 testimonials in this show. And this is the next guy I'm going to tell you about. But the flying lure infomercial went on to sell 500 million lures. It was a 500 million at a buck a lure because we put them in a pack, 20 to a pack. And so it was all because this guy had his perfect pitch. And here's another guy.
Flying lure looks.
This other guy that came up with a perfect pitch. I said when I met Jack LaLanne, look at this at the bottom. How to unpack your valuable IP. And this is important because now we're going to talk about 2 guys that are near and dear to me. Jack also has passed away, but Jack, he had retired. He was in his 70s when I met him. And I said, Jack, how do you stay so healthy? And he's like, Kevin, I work out, I eat right, and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, what valuable IP can we find for Jack LaLanne? Well, I found out every morning, carrot juice, fresh carrot juice. And that's what we did. We did the Jack LaLanne juicer. And this was just taking a guy, I mean, Forbes Riley, okay? Forbes, she was on HSN last night. We were with Forbes this weekend. We unpacked his valuable IP. This did over $1 billion in sales. And you can see he's smiling there because he passed away a very healthy and wealthy old fitness guru, okay? He made a lot of money. So Jack was a great man. Here's one more story, and this is my last one on productization and the perfect pitch. Tony Little is a great bodybuilder, good friend of mine. He was on HSN last night. It was Forbes Riley, Tony Little, and Sylvester Stallone's wife. I'll think of her name, but they were all over there last night. Good crowd. This was Tony a few years ago, in great shape. And he was a bodybuilder, but his business, when I met him, was he trained bodybuilders. He was a personal trainer to bodybuilders. So I'm like, okay, but Tony, is that a big business for you? Is it a profitable business for you? He's like, well, he says, actually, Kevin, it's a tough business. I wake up early in the morning, my first job, 5 o'clock in the morning. I go, I get anywhere from $50 to $75 per session, and I do 5, 6, 7 of these a day. And I show bodybuilders how they can, they want muscles, like extra muscles. So if they've got one muscle here, I can give them a second and a third one. I can target right there. Or get rid of those love handles, tighten up those glutes, and that's what I do. I target train bodybuilders. I've said, Tony, I got the idea for you. You're going to come in the studio. We're going to shoot 6 one-hour DVDs. And this isn't going to be for bodybuilders. It's going to be for women and the masses. And that was number one of the perfect pitch. Start with a mass marketing situation, right? So, attention getter. Tony Little, we did Target Training 1990, and this went on to do $300 million in sales because we unpacked Tony Little's valuable IP, and in the process, Tony Little became a very rich man on the first one, but we did many more, and you're going to see a couple more that we did with him later. But part of what we also did with Tony, and this was an amazing thing, because today most people know who Tony Little is. 1990, Tony was hate to say it this way, but a nobody. Nobody knew him. And he grew up here in St. Petersburg, Florida. And outside of here, nobody knew him. Now, you take Tony Little to Europe, you take him to Canada, you take him to Asia. He's famous all around the world because this is step number 3. We raised his profile. And this is step 3 for yourselves as business owners. You need to raise your profile. You're going to get deals. There's a couple ways to do it. And by the way, I don't use old media anymore to do profile. That's a few channels. The reason this guy just bought a $57 million condominium in New York City is because he is, the old media. And it's big money to get on a few channels broadcasting to millions. And look at it this way. Let's talk about what's happened. And this is why Rupert is going to retire pretty soon, because he realizes he's not able to keep up with the masses. Because in the old days, think about how long it took radio to get to 50 million people. 38 years. TV, it took 13 years. The internet, 4 years. The iPod, 3 years. And Facebook, 2 years to get to 50 million people. So, what is happening today? This guy got to 1 billion people in 6 months, all right? How many have seen this guy? The Gangnam guy, right? 1 billion people in 6 months. Why? Because he used the new media, and it's millions of channels broadcasting to a few. And this is what I do. This is what you should be doing. And this is called putting a shark in your tank, because we're going to show you how you get to millions of people. This guy, Phil Gear, lives in Tampa. 800 million views. He gets $1 million sponsorships because he does a little daily blog. This girl, you'll see her, she's famous, Michelle Phan. Google her. The girl started a couple years ago. Nobody knew her, how to put on makeup for Asian girls. She's got well over 1 billion views, multi-million-dollar sponsorship. She's wealthy. This girl, Jenna Marbles, has over 1 billion views. How to trick people into thinking you are beautiful. And she has made a fortune in the process. So this is called new media. And this is the other thing that we help people do, because this lady, Hattie Hassan, was a struggling female plumber. She could hardly get business. Most, like, people think, female plumbers, well, it's a men's job, is it? I don't know. But like, she was having a tough time. So guess what? She said no. Women don't want men in their house with their, half their underwear showing and, drinking beer sometimes during the day. And I grew up in a business where I saw that kind of stuff happening. And this girl, we helped her, and we've now published over 300 books for people that we work with. And this is something very important. What we do to help raise the profile is come out with a book concept for you, and we did. Hers was called The Joy of Plumbing, and this made her a rock star. In fact, she's over in the UK. She's got her own association of female plumbers. She's got 16 DVDs. She's productized herself. She's got a book. She's her own association. She's got a waiting list. She's got a bunch of female plumbers working for her because she has used the new media techniques that are out there today. And this is part of this whole new mentality of thinking big. Thinking small is the new big. And big companies have a harder time competing with small companies. And I even say right now, this is your production studio. Because I was telling a story when Mike and myself and Joan, we were sitting just having a little lunch before we all came out here this afternoon. I said, I used to own a studio. It was 35,000 square feet. It was a $15 million studio right down here off of Ulmerton Road in the ICOT Center. And I had, you know, dozens and dozens of employees running around and cameras. And the cameras in there 5 years ago weren't as good as this HD camera right here. And this is how all those folks are selling themselves by raising their profile on the internet. So think small, think big, use the resources that are available, and the social media aspect can be huge. I said I'm not going to sit here and talk all about only successes. I have to also talk about failures. I'm going to talk real fast because I don't like to spend a lot of time on my stumbles, okay? So, you know, it definitely is something that I've been through, and I'm going to share, because I got on at one point in my business career, we thought we couldn't fail. We were just, our heads got bigger than they should have been, and we learned quite a bit from how to make that not happen in the future. But we started greenlighting this deal and that deal. We had the Ginsu, I said we shot for $3,500. Here's a show we shot, cost me $500,000. You tell me whether you think it worked or not.
Now you can put on your favorite music and have fun dancing all those extra inches and pounds away. Presenting the one-of-a-kind, low-impact, calorie-burning, muscle-toning, total body exercise that's fun, fast, and easy. The revolutionary new Twist-A-Sizer, from the man who got the whole world twisting, Chubby Checker.
With a name like Chubby, do you think we were successful with a fitness product? Okay, no, all right? We bombed. And, you know, that was the first